Joining me now is Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, who is also a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congresswoman, thank you so much for your time. And I want to start with that investigation being launched by the House Judiciary Committee. Talk to us a little bit about what the committee wants to learn, what you want to discover and find out.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. This is a really important moment for our country. I think when you've had an administration like the former administration that shattered every norm of what we would expect from a Department of Justice that is surveilling its own White House counsel as well as members of Congress, what the Judiciary Committee has to do then is to get as much information on what happened, who knew what happened, when did they know it, because the idea that two former attorneys general do not know anything about it, both Attorney General Barr and Attorney General Sessions have said that they didn't know about these things, that feels impossible to me. But we need to get all of the information and look at it, and ultimately we have to hold this last administration accountable. And I think that is very, very important, because it's not sufficient just to return the Department of Justice to old norms. Of course, we want to do that, but we actually have to have accountability, and the public has to have accountability so that they can restore faith again, and so that we all can restore faith in the Department of Justice. Unbelievable weaponization and politicization of the Department of Justice by President Trump and his administration. And it's actually extremely dangerous for any future presidents for us to not have accountability around this.
Yesterday, you probably saw Senator Mitch McConnell called investigations into this a, quote, witch hunt in the making. When you think of some of the track record of just getting people like Don McGahn, previous lawyer for the White House, to come and testify and the subpoenas and how long that dragged out, do you see any opportunity to work with Republicans on this investigation as well?
I don't, unless we start to find out that some of these Republicans were surveilled just like Don McGahn was. Maybe that will change their minds. But, they have consistently stood up as a one-man cult for Donald Trump, regardless of what it said about whether or not they were upholding the Constitution or our democracy. They did that in not voting for impeachment, for conviction. They did that in not voting for the January 6th commission. And so I imagine that that's what they're going to continue to do. But that cannot stop us. And Attorney General Garland has a tough job on his hands, because he not only has to restore the department, he has to take us beyond that and be very public about what happened. He's got to acknowledge what the Department of Justice under Donald Trump did, and in order to restore faith, and then he's got to make sure it doesn't happen, along with us in Congress, of course.
Let me ask you, if I can, Congresswoman, about infrastructure. Another development on Capitol Hill today. Following a meeting with the Biden administration officials, you had House Democrats said that they will give bipartisan negotiations yet another week to 10 days before moving forward with a Democrat-only bill. As the leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, where do you stand on this? Is it time for Democrats to move on from trying and securing a bipartisan deal?
I've been very clear. I thought it was time a couple of weeks ago. I mean, this is not a Republican Party that we can negotiate with. They didn't give us a single vote for the American Rescue Plan. They are trying to just derail our momentum. It was 6 weeks ago that Mitch McConnell said that 100% of his focus was to stop the Biden administration from achieving any progress. What we know, Eamon, is that Democrats, Republicans, and independents want the American Jobs and Families Plan. They want a big, bold infrastructure and families plan to pass, because they want to be able to take care of their health care. They want good union jobs. They want to take on climate change. They want to expand Medicare. I mean, these are all the critical pieces of the American Jobs and Families Plan. So I've said it's time to go now. Let's go big. Let's go bold. Let's go Democrats only in Congress, because we know that Democrats, Republicans, and independents support us across the country.
All right, Congressman Pramila Jayapal, thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate it.